Hello people sitting in the house are doing. Today we're talking about something which one man from Donegal asked me to do, I suppose you could say a while ago. And we will be touching on fishing in the West End, Norway owning all the fishing around the west coast of Ireland. I'm talking the west coast, so Donegal, Sligo, Mayo, Galway, them counties especially. And fishing and tourism and transport in the west of it. So I'm going to just get started. So just to let you know it's them places. Yeah, man, Seamus, I will leave a link to his channel down below. Amazing fellow, he does a lot for me, so thank you very much again. I can't thank him enough. So yeah, so as we know, every part of Ireland is really of experience, and apart from the cities, the main cities don't have job shortages because obviously there's more employment in the cities than outside rural areas. Like in Donegal, let's just say let's just say near let's just say outside Castlebar, maybe say a town outside Castlebar, and there might be only 3 or 4 businesses in a small, say 5 or 10 kilometer radius, and there might be only that's literally how bad rural Ireland is, and we see the lack of jobs. We see the lack of jobs. We see people not. It's transport's another thing. Getting to work, like how do you get to work if there's no buses or there's no trains? Because there's nothing in these places for rural transport. There's some local league buses, but there's not a lot of local league buses. Tourism too. So the Atlantic Wall obviously is because it's the coast, and there's just not enough focus. There's more focus on Dublin and Cork and Galway. Well, Galway is on it, but there's more focus on the cities. Like they don't care. They don't focus on the relics. There's relics in Mayo. There's relics in Sligo. There's relics on the other side of Donegal. What I mean by relics is historical monuments. There's great historical documents and everything lying. There's loads of things outside the cities and outside the big towns. And Transport Ireland and the West, I mean to, publicise it. Say to the people who are coming from Germany or the Netherlands or Holland, same thing, Denmark or countries like that. They say, look, Donegal, right, Donegal, they would never be thinking of Donegal. Right, Donegal has loads of things to offer. Bundoran is a lovely seaside town and when it's not raining, because one day I was down as well and it was terrible. But it was great hospitality there. Has lovely beaches, have lovely amusements, lovely people, lovely pubs there and everything. Like towns like that, you don't hear enough of. You always hear about Dublin. Like Dublin, they going by the Irish government, you think Dublin was the only place in the country. And that is true, because Dublin is the capital of Ireland, but you have to give a fair share to every county in tourism. And I really, really want people just to, if you are from outside Ireland, please, if you're in Dublin, spend a night there and please just make yourself to the west, because it's lovely scenery there and it's just beautiful. And the fishing, I have to touch on this a lot. I've been in touch with the ambassador to Norway, the Irish ambassador to Norway, and Norway owns the Atlantic. Suppose all areas surrounding the Irish coast. I suppose the United Kingdom owns this bit, and it's very complicated. But Norway gets all the fish from basically the west coast. So from here, suppose up as far as there. So and then the United Kingdom gets this sector of the fish. So Norway makes about, I think it's nearly good 5 billion nearly of fish and sea life things like that. So like you could say, why would they not give, a good bit of money to and not to the Irish state. I mean, not to the Irish state. Don't give it to the Irish state because the whole Irish. Well, the Irish people out money on this, but I would give it to Galway, Mayo, Sligo, and Donegal County Councils. Be like, give you a billion each because Norway is a rich country. Norway is a really rich country, and that is solved. A billion euro each extra for allowing them to fish. Like that'd be a huge amount too. Imagine how much you could do in. Let's say Ballyshannon. Ballyshannon is a kind of dying town, to be honest. Let's put it that way in Donegal. I was there when I had to meet with the council in Donegal a few months ago. And it's really, really just dying. It's just dying. There's nothing in it. There's literally nothing in it. That's near Bundoran, but it's just dying, Ballyshannon. And, it's like towns like this is what's going to happen because there's not enough focus on these towns, and there's just everything's in Dublin, everything's in Galway, everything's in like the big city in the big town in Ireland is Letterkenny would be the biggest. Letterkenny, am I saying that? Am I saying that? Yeah, Letterkenny. So I'm brain dead for a second, sorry. But yeah, they'll be all going into the big towns. So it's just huge. Like places like Tory Island, which is that island up there. Here, like they used to have a king, but sadly he died on the island. He died a few years ago. He died last year, I think, and it's upsetting because that's such a good heritage island, such history on the island, and you never see tourism Ireland be like, this is a great island to come to. And the same with the Aran Islands too. The Aran Islands have huge history. And the Mayo does have another historical site which is great, Croagh Patrick, which is an absolute amazing place to go to. I never went there, but I'd love to go there. And it's an amazing view of the bay in Mayo. And it's amazing, just amazing, and it's just beautiful. And you don't hear enough of this. You hear about places in Dublin. You hear about places being done up in Dublin. You hear about different things. Like, it's all well and fair if you say Croagh Patrick and some other place in Dublin. That's fair enough. 50-50. Split the tourism 50-50. And be like, there's a place in Mayo called Croagh Patrick. Right, put that on the top of the poster. But in the bottom, there's a place in Dublin called Tepper Bar or something like that. Split it 50-50 because the Irish government are too focused on bringing people into the cities. I don't know, like it's such a thing, like they're just trying to stop people from looking in outside the country because that's really the thing. They don't want tourists coming down to Cavan and seeing the amount of rubbish that's on the road and the rest of that because the government are too lazy to employ people and the rest of that. And and that's another thing I had to touch on, like I was in Donegal, and when I was going into Donegal, I suppose you could say, there was loads of bags of rubbish. I don't know whether just picking it up, maybe Donegal County Council, but there was loads of bags of rubbish. And, that's not improving, the tourism. Like just say if I was from the Netherlands, let's just say that, and I came to Ireland, I was going to this town. My first impression, seeing loads of black bags lying everywhere, rubbish lying all around the place, you'd be thinking, that's not really good, it's not really that good. And, it would be right to say that, because it is disgusting seeing rubbish and bits of food lying everywhere. But, it's not a big thing. It's not as big as, I suppose, houses being shot and blown up and everything. That's a different story. But, yeah, jobs for the West, like, going back to that, because loads of things I have to talk about here. There's just a lack of jobs. There's no employment nearly in these places. There's loads of employment in Galway City, but outside Galway, in the rural parts of Galway, in the extreme rural parts, you might only see one business for 10 kilometres, as I say, and it's just, it's just desperate. That's really how bad it is. It's just desperate, and an undeveloped West, if you could call it. We have an undeveloped West that is undeveloping every day because it's being left behind. I'm not focused on this part because this is getting good investment. They didn't say Clare. The other reason why I didn't say Clare is getting a lot of money for the Cliffs of Moher and the rest of that, and Clare County Council doing a great job doing things like that. So they really don't have much to worry about. They have good amount of jobs and everything. And then the rest of them are grand because Kerry has the Healy Ways and Cork is obviously a major part of Ireland, so there'll be more investment down the other parts will be grand. But really the thing is, we have to influence foreign investors to come to these towns like Ballyshannon and bring more employment. If we've seen a big, let's just say, German company, say Volkswagen, set up a factory in Ballyshannon or Bundoran, outside Bundoran, that'll bring employment to the local people. And the people be like, I wonder where the nearest Volkswagen factory is. And they'd be like, that's in Ballyshannon or that's in Bundoran. And they get the name out there, and they get people being like, oh yes, now I know where Bundoran is. Oh yes, I know where Ballyshannon is. It's just about getting the name out there. And that's the thing. and getting people to be like, you know, this is a lovely town. People support each other. People help each other out, and people support local businesses, and that's what needs to be explained to the world, that Ballyshannon and places like Ballyshannon all along the west coast of Ireland are open for business, and that's the way they think. They're open for people to come in, and they're going to walk the socks off the local people to keep the business up and running. So yeah, I know it's 10 minutes video, so my apologies, but it is a lot to talk about. I could go on all day nearly talking about how undeveloped the West is compared to, say, Cavan. Cavan's a bit more developed, more developed and really some counties. And before anybody says anything, it's not my fault. So that's really it. I could go on for another hour talking about fishing rights and the rest of that, and how much Irish taxpayers have money, and especially in the West, because it's just a mess sometimes with people wanting to fish and the catfish. It's just a mess. Anyway, thank you for watching. Subscribe for more, and bye. And just to say, check out Yeah Man Seamus' channel. I will leave a link in the description. Before I forget, I just need to open up my YouTube, so don't forget. And thank you for watching. Subscribe for more, and bye.